Hello and welcome back to Newsletter Sports. It's me, Moses Echodu, and of course Creed Mugabe. And we,
you can as well just say Creed.
I don't know why you don't like the name Mugabe. I don't know why you don't like the name Mugabe. Why don't you like the name Mugabe?
I'll use the name Mugabe if when I start working with maybe Radio Simba, CBS.
Is it because which girl are you vibing, Creed? I need to know. He might be having some international girl he's been lying to, and now suddenly it's come out. His must have been telling him, my first name is Brian, my last name is Creed, and so now when I start saying Creed Mugabe, is that
it's an international girl. I need to subscribe and share. So, yeah.
Hi John, how you doing?
John.
Anyway, Manchester United versus Everton. Manchester United are coming into this game 2 back-to-back losses. They lost to Arsenal in the weekend's game on Sunday. Then in midweek in the Champions League, they went and lost to that is Istanbul Basaksehir in quite unimaginable fashion. The 2 goals, all of them spoke about defending indiscipline.
Yeah, exactly.
Defending indiscipline, because the first goal for Dembaba, when the Manchester United was attacking, and when you look at the entire setup, all the players were literally in the box of their opponents, in the third quarter of their opponents. What are all the defenders doing there? You're too far away. So by the time Basaksehir gets the ball, they're just throwing it in front for Dembaba, who makes his 35-year-old legs, probably 45, run all the way.
Yeah.
And there's literally nothing much that David De Gea can do. There's nothing much David De Gea can do. And then you talk about the second goal that they conceded. You look at where Maguire and Tuazembe, I don't know if that's a real name, were standing, and they were literally in no man's land. There was close to 3/4 of the 18-yard box that were empty for Basaksehir to utilize. I mean, proper defending in discipline.
One thing I realized about, especially in sports, your first cards actually determine
what your game is going to be like.
game.
Yeah.
When you look at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, to me the first card he played were actually wrong cards. I'm not really saying that the previous coaches have really been doing the right things, but I think that Man United, they haven't really moved on from Sir Alex Ferguson. They haven't really gotten that solution.
They haven't gotten it out of their system.
Exactly. First of all, when you look at some of the things that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did when he had just joined Man United, I know that he excited Man United fans by winning a bunch of games, but then you look at some of the small details that he did. Mismanaging the team. That's the time when he let the likes of Sanchez and Lukaku go. I remember in an interview when Lukaku said that one of the reasons why he left, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wanted him to oftenly play on the right wing, and it wasn't really comfortable for Lukaku to do that. You look at some of the young players, because for a team at least you can rely on your young talent. You know that maybe in 2 or maybe 3 seasons, this is the kind of player who is going to come through the pipeline from the academy to the main team. But you look at the likes of Angel Gomez, he went to Portugal, I think he plays for Boavista. Look at the likes of Chong as well. I remember that kid played a very brilliant game.
I think he was loaned out to Hoffenheim?
Werder Bremen.
Werder Bremen
right now. So you look at some of these small things. Man United didn't do this. Never used to do such things. And then you're looking at the signings that they are making. Man, these are weird signings. Now I'll ask you a question. You are building something. Is Cavani the right player to sign right now?
Not really,
with
because
those old legs.
I mean, Cavani is ultimately one of those players in the last 10 years you can look up to and say, as a striker, he had done incredible things. But I think for me, if you bring in Cavani, you're wasting a lot of resources.
Exactly.
Because you're going to pay him, what, £250,000 a week? That's a lot of money. Remember, you already have Odion Ighalo on your bench. If you're not seeing goals, why aren't you giving Odion Ighalo more playing time? Because and you see, when Odion Ighalo came in January, I think it was in January? No, last year.
January. I think it was in January.
When he came in January transfer window, he started banging in the goals. Every time was given minutes, he was banging in the goals. My expectation this season was going to be, he's been given to Manchester United for the entirety of the season. Probably he's going to be with them until probably January now, because he doesn't seem to be happy. But if you're having him more as a player that has been granted to you, utilize him more, because we all love Anthony Martial. I think he's one of those really incredibly gifted players. Marcus Rashford.
Finish in the Premier League. Okay, go
Did
on.
we suddenly
Rashford.
start taking porridge on the show?
Rashford,
You know, you have Rashford, has his moments when he's really working hard, has his moments when he switches off, which is basically a case for Rashford and Anthony Martial. They all have moments when they switch off. So when they switch off, that is when you want to give Mason Greenwood and Odion Igalo an opportunity to have run in, you know, to have an opportunity to actually go in and look for the goals. You cannot tell me that Edison Cavani is actually the right choice, or it's your preferred target man to get the job done.
I think talking about the choices, this should take us back to the drawing board, and we ask ourselves, who is actually pulling these strings? Signing a bunch of, okay, I won't really call them useless players, but signing players.
But I think
Talles
the Talles player they brought in is a good player.
But who is responsible for these signings? That should be the question.
No,
Because
I think
when I look at the whole technical bench, or when I look at the Man United management as a whole, I mean, you're looking at people who did great things for Man United, but as well in football. But how comes they don't have that chemistry with the coach? You look at the assistant, of course, Carrick. Carrick is a club legend, if you ask me. You look at the people who are sitting on the board. Look at the likes of Sir Alex Ferguson, Bobby Charlton in there. They have a chief scout called Basel in there. This is a person who has worked at least with bigger teams and bigger coaches. But you're looking at a team that is struggling to make their choices. And to me, it really goes back to the point whereby I think they need a natural football director, if you ask me, because you look at some of the teams in the Premier League that are way better than Man United currently, even on the loan. You look at Liverpool. They don't have Jurgen Klopp, Michael Edwards in there, they have Mike Gordon. You look at the chemistry between these three men, it's really massive. Okay, this is just a short break. The time when Klopp was extending his contract, you know, Mike Gordon doesn't stay in England, he stays in Netherlands. Mike Gordon actually had to fly to England, and he even stayed at Klopp's house. So this, I just brought it in this to show you the chemistry between the three people who are pulling strings at Liverpool.
I think
you look at Man City as well, they do have a football director. Beresteni. You look at Spurs, they also actually hired one from Swansea, Trevor Beach. What's up with Man United?
I think for me, we can talk about football directors for so long. But I think the other thing for me, it's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's understanding of the games. Because
but who's supposed to help you understand the game?
Okay, probably that's where you want to have the football director, because I really don't understand why you pay over 30 million for Van der Beek and you're not utilizing him. Because he's such an incredible talent. Every time he gets minutes on the game, he's doing something incredible. You look at a game against Istanbul Basaksehir, he was pulling the strings. He was their most incredible player, and then Ole Gunnar Solskjaer pulls him off the pitch to bring in someone who actually didn't utilize the ball as much as Van der Beek was doing. So I think at times also, the decision making by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is questionable. The same can be said for Mikel Arteta at times, because at times when you expect him to make a change to actually impact the game, he waits for the 85th or 83rd minute. No player, literally very few players in the world, are going to have that ability to come and impact the game in 5 minutes. Arsenal, for all the players that they have, they do not have a player who has that magnitude or who has that capacity.
Can we fly back to Old Trafford?
Now we're going to fly back to Old Trafford.
Okay.
Manchester United taking up Everton. How do you see this game?
I mean, with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, it's all about the tactics. I'll tell you this. The good thing you've mentioned a bunch of players in there, and of course his choices. And I personally think the choices are really, really pathetic, if you ask me.
I'm going to throw a stone at that ball. But anyway, yes, go on. Okay.
I requested for a safe ball. Okay. But you look at some of the choices, and to me they're really pathetic. I'll give you an example. Let me look at let me look at the PSG game and of course the Arsenal game. Now you look at the PSG game, and then they played Leipzig before they played Arsenal, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you look at the Leipzig game, of course even the PSG game.
Someone give that man a Pepsi.
United loves using the diamond formation.
Yes,
they used it in the Champions League, but this is a formation where they can't create enough in that formation.
Exactly, because Bruno Fernandes is an incredible player.
Exactly.
Yeah. Paul Pogba is a good player. Van der Beek is such a massive talent.
Yeah.
But, and I repeat this, but I don't see how do I put this? How they can all utilize the diamond formation. I don't
think they need to use the diamond formation, because if you remember the game they played against Leipzig, they comfortably won, but you can really see that at first when they were using the diamond formation, it wasn't really paying for them, simply because they don't create much. So you can't get the goals if you don't create much. Now, if you remember when Rashford replaced Mason Greenwood, and then they reverted to a 4-3-3 formation, this is when they started scoring goals for fun.
Yeah.
But guess what? Against Arsenal, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer went with the same mentality, diamond formation, against a team like now. When I say against a team like Arsenal, I mean for Arsenal, you can believe me or you can choose not to believe me. But in terms of attacking, it's not really.
They have no prowess.
It's not one of those teams you're going to
rely
play against,
on,
and you think that they're going to attack your what. You don't have to play diamond formation, because Arsenal played
a flat-out game.
Exactly, Arsenal played with that low defensive block that literally reminds me of Moyes at Everton. They played that low block defensive tactic, but then United, they were not creating chances.
No, I think exactly, because going into that game, my biggest worry for Arsenal was they don't have a creative player. They don't have a player who is able to pick up the ball and say, listen, I'm going to do this, I'm going to run 2-3 minutes and give Aubameyang a through pass for him to be able to run through and get to David De Gea. I'm going to find a pass or two and give to Lacazette. Lacazette is such a wasteful man. But
so that means if the team is playing against Arsenal, what
all they have to do is to attack.
That's what you need to do. You don't have to sit back. You don't have attack. Why are you defending against a team that doesn't attack?
Exactly.
It doesn't really make much sense. But playing against Everton, I think that Everton has also had their own thorny path.
West. So
for Everton, I think that it's a team that started by knocking out everything in their way, but right now they have gone on that funny path.
Yes.
You look at they have not won in the last 3 matches.
The injuries to James Rodriguez, the injuries to, the red card to Digne, and then of course the red card to Richarlison.
Yeah.
I think have been so significant for them in how they have played in the last games. So I expect Manchester United to go to Goodison and pick up a result here.
No, I don't think so. I just think Ancelotti is really
a tactical
manager, and even
but
in
with
terms
the players
of football,
that he has,
up there compared to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Because I know that Man United will anyway score a goal. Because look at a team like Everton, a team that has only kept 2 clean sheets at home in 2020.
Yeah.
So definitely United will score a
they'll
goal.
have an opportunity to score.
I don't think they're going to win.
I personally think that Manchester United.
I don't think, because when you look at how Everton plays, they go all out.
I think
they make use of the flanks.
Exactly, and you see, if you keep Luke Shaw and that is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka is not really so important going forward.
Yeah.
But if you're keeping him on the back end, it means you're also attracting the likes of Fred to come back and do a little bit more of defending. You're expecting the likes of Fernandes to have limited presence on the ball. Dracula is going to have to play a massive game today against Bruno Fernandes to limit him on his operations, because if they fail to limit Bruno Fernandes, he can always find a way of picking I think Rashford.
It should be really easy for Man United, but I don't think it will. But because when you look at the way they played against Arsenal, just a flashback, there was a time when Fred had that ball, but Fred doesn't have that ego eye. Because if you remember, there was a time when Arsenal overloaded the pitch, whereby they overloaded the right side of the pitch, and then on the left side Mason Greenwood was actually free. But Fred doesn't have that ego. I now suppose
it's not about even having the ego.
if you-
It's
if
about
you-
having the intelligence to pick out open spaces.
exactly. If you put Pogba there, I mean, it's going to do for you the job. Pogba has that ability of throwing those balls up front. But if you put Pogba in a more defensive role, you're not going to get the best out of Pogba.
Because when you speak about that, it reminds me of what happened over the weekend. Pogba was put in a defensive role, and you could see that he struggled so much to assert himself because you had the pivot, the double pivot of Thomas Partey and that is Mohamed El Neni, and they literally closed off that.
So they had a party.
They had a party. Exactly. Anyways, this game is coming up in a few hours. Manchester United taking up Everton. Who will get to win? Who gets to win this game? Predict for yourselves and tell us.
Prediction.
My prediction, I think it will be 3-2 Man United.
Wow.
It's going to be a high-scoring game.
3-2 Man United. United is going to score 3 goals.
Yes.
4-1 Everton.
4-1 Everton.
4-1 Everton.
Is that how poor United's defense is?
Definitely they are poor.
Very poor defense.
Because I know Everton by the struggles without Richarlison, but
is he supposed to come back in this game?
No.
No, this is last.
Yeah, the last game. But still, I think when you look at the 3 players up front, they have the ability to punish the Man United defense. Look at Lewin up front. You look at the likes of Sigurdsson in there. Look at James as well, because James is actually fit to play.
Yeah.
So I think it's massive stuff for Everton.
In the meantime, Southampton is asking all of the English Premier League to stop counting because they are the table leaders. And of course, if you don't know the reference of stop the count, then certainly you have not been following up on what is happening around the world. But it's been Mimosa Sechodo and Creed Mugabe, and we're saying peace and love till next weekend. We'll be right back.